Maybe I should back out of the room. Good morning. Morning. What do you think we should have for breakfast? We? Aren't you eating breakfast right now? Yes, everyone else ate already. Despite that, he repeats his question again. He's just trying to be nice. It's an odd way to show it, but I appreciate it nonetheless. I am feeling pretty hungry. I try to make some conversation with him while I'm getting my breakfast to fill in the silence. That fishing trip yesterday was fun. Do the Hakamichi and Satuas often get together like that? Not really. I see. I don't really... What? I don't really. There's a brief pause before Hideki deigns to fill me in a little more. Family issues. Our fathers are brothers and do not like each other. Hearing that gives me plenty to think about. It puts the way Shizune and Millie deal with each other into context, and makes me even more wary of getting involved. Family issues can be troublesome. Hideki simply nods as I sit at the table with my breakfast. I wish he were a little easier to converse with. While I'm eating, I notice that the house seems oddly quiet for a place with Misha in it. If Shizune and Misha ate breakfast already, it can't be because they are asleep. I ask Hideki where they are. Shizune and Misha left to run some errands for our dad. The local business people love dealing with Misha, so he insisted. Well, she's got a nice and cheerful personality. I can see why they would. Maybe you should start taking lessons from her. You can increase your business connections. Are you serious? You sound serious. I don't know what kind of business connections a little kid would need. Maybe he wants to have best bake sale fundraiser ever. It's a shame. I'll eventually have to leave here and won't be able to see whatever he is planning. I wonder what kind of person Shizune's dad is again. Other than relatively outdoorsy, what I know so far is that he asks his business partners and friends of his daughter to do favors for him. I'm assuming he's extremely shy or extremely lazy. Maybe it's rude maybe it's a rude call to make so early. But it would certainly explain a large chunk of Shizune's personality. Do you want to go anywhere? Not really. Why, do you? I thought there might be somewhere you want to go. You don't want to do some sightseeing or eat at a specific restaurant? I don't know. I've never been here before. I see. I was just about to ask him about what Shizune was like when he was younger, but he managed to sidetrack me with just one question. This appears to be as awkward a conversation for him as it is for me. You're sure eager to please today. Why are you being so nice? Are you showing your secret nice side now that your sister isn't around? You're sort of right. Shizune wanted me to keep you company today. I don't want to trouble him and try to make him see that, but Hideki's as stubborn as his sister, and it feels as if this is his duty. He also seems to be earnestly trying to be... Whoa. There's the music. Huh. Well, let's keep going. Yay, 100th part. Yay, 100th part. Yay. This is gonna keep going. He also seems to be earnestly trying to be nice. Quickly, I start to realize that Hideki's idea of fun is fishing, collecting cameras and making historic puns. Fishing is fun, but it's something I'd rather do than discuss. The same goes for cameras. I'd rather handle them than collect them. This is something Hideki picks up on himself. Are you bored? I'm not bored at all. I almost yawn the words, so Hideki ignores them entirely. You are bored. Shizune said to be entertaining, and I think I don't know how to do that. I am entertained. You don't sound entertained. I am! Ah! Yay! What do you yell? I hope you do not yell so much around Shizune. It's hard to tell if he's joking. Either way, I'm a bit surprised. I tried to play it off and change the subject. Do you just collect cameras, or are you into photography too? Not really. If I did, there would be more photos in the house than there currently are. What is there to take pictures of? What is there to take pictures of? I don't know. Birds? Architecture? One of the restaurants you're talking about? I thought the city had tons of cool stuff. How can you live in a place with so much stuff to do and do nothing? I thought you didn't know what was there and what was to do here. Some have many ideas and are an authority on how interesting it is. You're like bored on tourism. Do you want to go watch birds or buildings? Okay. No need to get so mad. I'm not mad. I just think that if you feel strongly about it, we should go to an amusement park. Why? So that we can be amused. It'll be fun. Well, he has such a flat, unfun expression on his face while we're riding roller coasters or drop towers. It would sure bring the fun levels down. The thought does not convince me that it's worth the trip. I don't know. It always sounded to me like like going to an amusement park meant you spend more time waiting in lines than actually doing stuff. You'd have to go earlier than this just to skip the lines. Have you ever been to one? No, but it seems like that is what it's like. Fine, what about a regular park? There's one nearby that Shizunak's going to. Maybe she'll be there and I can unload you onto her. What do you mean unload? I'm not luggage. You don't want to go into an amusement park. I don't know what to do. He looks as though I've hurt his feelings by refusing to go with him. I am already rationalizing my decision. I don't like waiting in lines. It would be too much like a date. I'd rather go with Shizun. It'd be too tiring. It's nothing personal. It's just that I kinda wanted Shizun to show me around town instead. I don't think that would be my condition. Going to an amusement park would be such a hot idea. The park is close enough that the property could almost be considered an extension of it. Both it and Shizun's backyard look about the same, except that the park has benches and more people. That said, it's quite nice. There are even people out walking their dogs and children flying kites that can be seen lazily drifting back and forth over trees in the distance. I can sit here in a relaxing and scenic place like this forever. Hideki, on the other hand, looks like he's extremely bored. I want to poke him to see if he's still alive, but would he react either way? Are you bored? No? Are you gonna jog or play frisbee with dogs like everyone else? Is that what people do in parks? Well, you go to parks to get back to nature and enjoy the atmosphere. That's why you jog in the park. But instead of just on the sidewalk or something, you can jog anywhere. I can't believe I am having this conversation. How can you not know this? You should have brought that up. It's too weird. Or you shouldn't have brought that up. It's too weird. Haven't you heard of children? Children should be seen, not heard. What the hell? Yes. I lied. I'm bored. Would you like to play a game? I've grown audibly enough to hope that he understands I don't want to. He doesn't care. In fact, he's already toying with a deck of playing cards. Why are you upset? That is why we're here. I thought we were here to look for Shizun. Exactly, this is why we should play a game. It's a Shizun trap. You can trap anything, including people. If we compete against each other in the spirit of competition, in a sportsmanly manner, she will be drawn here to challenge the winner like a shark. Then I will defeat her like a safari hunter, then take a photo of my award ceremony. Sharks do not go around challenging people to games or chants like dojo breakers. When did you bring that camera? Anyway, no, I get enough games hanging out with your sister. No, come on, it'll be fun. We can play chess. Please no. Besides, playing chess in the park is something old people do. Like fishing. You're gonna get old too fast if you keep doing all this old man stuff. Hideki freezes like I've suddenly started speaking a foreign language. Maybe I've offended him. Maybe secretly over 50 years old and has just aged incredibly well. Him being Shizun's brother could be a cover story. What about checkers or Go? Or even backgammon is fine. Even though I don't like it, if board games aren't your thing, you can play card games. Anything other than 7 card, because it is for wimps. Are you afraid that you'll lose? If you can beat me, I'll give you candy. Hideki, you're just like Shizun. I'm starting to think this is all a pretense to play games. No, that is not true. You are. I bet that competition streak is genetic. I'll sell you the science. No one can own a human being. How about I teach you some sign language instead? When Shizun asked me if I wanted to come here, we talked a little, and it seemed like you and your dad don't use sign language. I'm just guessing, but if you don't, I can teach you some. I'm not a master at it, though. I think it might be good for you to move your arms more anyway. He barely moved his arms. Most of the time, they just hang limply at his sides. How unnerving. It's been bothering me that Shizun's entire family apparently doesn't know how to sign. I wonder what she did before she met Misha. Did they just hire translators for her? Did she write out everything on the pad that she carries around? The second is the most likely, or she could type it out on a phone. That would explain why she dislikes using the pad so much. Sad as it is, I can sort of see why Hideki or her dad might not have bothered to learn sign language. There probably was too much of a hassle at the time. It's very easy to think that. From what I've seen so far, though, neither of them hold it against each other, or are too badly affected by it. It could be that I'm overthinking the situation. Come on. Well, to be honest, I'm still learning sign language myself. I brought all my books along with me so I can keep up, you know? So, I can at least teach you the alphabet. It's pretty simple. This is kite. I feel really corny right now, and even more so when Hideki stares back at me blankly as if the entire concept of learning is alien to him. Shun likes flying kites here as well. This is an attempt to salvage the conversation, and I'm happy to oblige. Fishing, and now kites too. Shizun really likes all these relaxing hobbies. Well, let's just fishing and kite. Let's try to read this as fast as possible. Fighting kites actually shoot about Shizun. Hideki freezes and Misha appears behind him and puts her hands above his eyes. Hi, guess who? You seem to be finally loosening up too. Hi, Misha. Is Shizun with you? Hey, Chad, no spoilers. Don't spoil it. Don't ruin the surprise, okay? Misha. Bingo, that's right, but it was too easy somehow. I don't know what she means by somehow. Too much people can tell me, can tell it's me. I want to surprise someone. I thought for sure that Hideki would be fooled. Why weren't you, You're the only person who does that. You and kidnappers. Really? Why? Why do you laugh? Are you giving us out trouble? I thought you would take him somewhere more exciting than the park. It isn't even that far from home. You're so lazy. Here, you giving Chad trouble? You should have taken him somewhere more exciting. The park is too close to home. Chad says you're lazy. You wanted to come here. Why are you so argumentative? I have to keep my little brother in line. What is she saying? He must be kept in line. Really? They're ready to go at each other's throats this quickly. On one hand, I've heard that the siblings fighting so much isn't uncommon, and the fact that they fight at all proves that there is to be some level of communication going on, so it's nice that they get along. They argue all the way back home. Misha translates for Shizun and I for Hideki, so it looks more like we're the ones arguing instead. Except not really. Nobody could listen to Misha and believe that. The day got entertaining at the end, at least. Despite having only despite having only been here for 2 days, it feels like it's been much longer. I wake up feeling more tired than refreshed because I've been moving around almost constantly since I got here. Whatever the reason, it's making me get up unusually late each day. I like sleeping in, but it could be inconvenient if it ends up being a habit. I can hear a deep male voice shouting loudly in the background. It must be Shizune's dad, or maybe with the size of this place, his creditors. More likely the former, since the yelling doesn't seem angry or just loud. Oh look, there he is. Shizune, Misha, and Hideki are sitting in the living room, having a one-sided conversation with a giant bear man who alternates between shoveling away food from a plate balanced on his leg and twirling his sword. From what Shizune and Hideki are like, I expected their dad to be a very reserved, clean-cut, possibly androgynous person. So I'm pretty surprised. I'm surprised for a while until he starts talking to me. Huge man. That's a good name. What? Hello, you must be, no. Hello, you must be Shizune's other friend. Did you have a good night's rest? The guest rooms are a bit sparse. If there's anything you need, feel free to tell me. Thanks, you must be Shizune's father. It's nice to meet you. I'm Shizune's classmate, a Sound guy. This place is mine. I wanted to meet you after hearing that I would have a second guest in my house. Unexpected. You hear something like that, and obviously you want to see what the other person is like. Would you like my business card? He holds out the case full of them for a second, and I see that his name is Yugoro, and that his office hours are from 8 to 6. They also say he's a consultant. What a prepared guy, carrying his card case around his own home. We're just sitting down to a slightly late lunch. You're just in time to join us. Good pick. Pick a place to sit down and I'll bring you a plate. I hope you don't mind eating bear liver. I thought that bear liver was toxic. Either way, the thought of eating bear liver doesn't appeal to me other than for the ability to tell people I've eaten bear liver. I suppose it wouldn't hurt to try it, but Shizune's dad merely laughs. I'm just making a joke. Although maybe it would be such a nice idea to cook some bear livers for your kids. They will make you strong. We're actually having omelets. I'll make you one right now. Is that unusual for you, having an omelet for lunch? Very unusual. No, not at all. Jigoro vanishes to where the kitchen must be. I'm surprised that despite I living in the place, he has to cook my lunch. Maybe he only cooks because he likes to. My plate is steaming. My steaming plate of food is done in a very short time. It smells really good. Are you in the student council like Shizune? Is the student council that busy that Shizune has to drag her friends along with her everywhere she goes? Sometimes a vacation is just a vacation. You're right about the student council part. I think we're just here for fun though. I see, is that right? When I was young, our student councils had so much work that I don't think we should have afforded going on vacation. It must be nice having so much free time. Should give you plenty of time to think about your future. I do not like the direction this discussion is taking. And start thinking about how to avoid it. Have you thought about it? About what you want to do? No, I haven't given it much thought recently. What do you do? If you don't mind me asking. That must be something pretty cool if you can get you a house like this. Why do you want to know? Children aren't interested in business. What business of yours is my business? Suspicious. Are you some kind of tax-bound boy? I guess he really does not like being asked questions. Hichan isn't a tax collector, boy. I think. Hichan, what do your parents do? You never told us. You be quiet. Don't interrupt me. I hate being interrupted. It's rude. Ah. She doesn't look too happy with this turn of events. Even with Misha unable to sign to her what's going on, she can read the mood easily. Her glare becomes more smoldering as Jigoro continues to rant. One more thing, my fishing equipment. I came home and it was just in a big pile in the corner. Rod just stacked haphazardly on top of tackle. That was me. I can't remember if it was him. If it wasn't, I appreciate him that he's willing to take one for the team. It doesn't matter because Jigoro ignores him without skipping a beat. Well, anyway, I am glad that my fishing equipment can provide so much entertainment for my daughter's friends. Did not even tell me you were going to be using them. Those are expensive custom-made poles, not Dylan Tate's. I suddenly become aware of the eggshell fragments of my omelet. Is he just a bad cook? Does he eat them for the calcium? Were they purposely added there to give me even more discomfort? Though confused, I'm not as unnerved as I think I would normally be. Then again, my life has been pretty strange lately. I keep running into all sorts of different people and nothing surprising me anymore. You didn't even properly clean them after use. Terrible. Do you know how to use fish? Do you even know how to fish? Unlikely. There are not enough poles here for all of you. How does that work? Did you all share? One person baits the hook, then another casts. 2 people the reel. Incompetent. Well, 6 of us went, so we couldn't all do it at the same time. First it was just me, Akira, Hideki, and Misha. Stop talking. That sounds unspeakably dirty. I have had enough of your filth. How vulgar. Making sure that your statements are so embarrassingly careless. Worded next time. Carelessly worded. What? What? You're so disrespectful. Amazing. Are all delinquent types like this? Even the way you dress shows flippant disregard for authority. Sweater vest. Disgraceful. Delinquent? I'm on the student council. I'm hurt by his comment on the sweater vest, especially when it's coming from a guy in such a tacky shirt. I guess I can't really say anything though. He has a sword. He might also kill bears. Misha loudly puts her plate down on the table. That was delicious. Chichan and I are done now. Chichan, you are too right. We should get going. What is simply an effective exit strategy? I really have time to put down my plate before they pull me up and out of there and finally outside. Unbelievable. It's like I'm really watching an interrogation. This is not a cop show. Guests definitely have responsibilities, but haven't he ever heard of being a gracious host? Really? Misha attempts to sloppily mimic. She's doing the angry chopping gesture as best as she can. She has the expression down too, but the tone of her voice is the same as ever, thus lacking the anger necessary to bring it all together. Waha, don't take it too hard, Chichan. Chichan's dad does this to everyone. I think it's like a joke. That was the most aggressive joke if possible. I'm also not all convinced that it was a joke, considering that hastily staged retreat. But this isn't a moment to discuss how my father might be a jerk. Hey Chan, let's go shopping. You haven't been to town yet, have you? It'll be fun. We can see sights and go to the amusement park. Maybe eat at a good restaurant. We just had lunch, even though I didn't eat much. It's okay. In that case, we just have to make sure that today is so busy that by the time we're done, it'll be time for dinner. It works out perfectly. Come on, Chan. They immediately flanked me and hooked my arms with theirs. Shizune taking one arm and Misha taking the other at first. At first, we almost tripped over each other. Shizune walks at a very brisk pace, and Misha had an unusually bouncy way of moving. We got the hang of it soon enough, and I noticed we're going to town like cutting through the park. It doesn't seem efficient, so I'm guessing this is the scenic route. Walking this way hinders how we can communicate with each other significantly. I can't talk to Shizune at all. Shizune and Misha are all down to one-hand gestures only. It feels nice though, so I don't mind too much. When I make a crack about it to Misha, she responds with a mild confusion. Really, Chad? If you really want Chad's attention, you can tell me, and then I can tap her on the shoulder for you. You could just let me go and I'll do it myself. How are you gonna tap her on the shoulder from over there? Like this. She suddenly stops in her tracks roughly and tries to reach behind her back and across the shoulder to get Shizune's attention. She succeeds, but only because when Misha stopped, I had to as well, and we all fall over. Obviously, Shizune has to jerk to a halt too. The sight makes Misha let out one of her characteristic laughs, which shakes us around more, and Shizune starts flailing her hands to get her to stop, which only causes her to laugh harder. It's pretty funny to watch her gestures getting so flustered. Too. And I start laughing too. I've been neglecting my sign language studies, so I should probably spend more time studying up on it. Although I think I've learned a lot just by osmosis. I'm very proud of that, we'll have to be careful not to brag about it. Most of the books I brought with me aren't manuals on sign language, but studies are different signing dialects. I know Shizune has some secret signals with Misha that only two of them know the meaning of. After seeing a couple of them, this book caught my eye in the school library. Maybe I should incorporate some examples into my own signing to mess with them, because I'm pretty sure that they have started using the code words for more than when I started learning sign language. That will teach them. After a quick break for a shower, I resumed practicing my signing in the guest room mirror. Yesterday I crashed my fingers against each other pretty hard. It still smarts, and I don't want a repeat of that to happen again. I hear knocking on the door behind me and turn to find Hideki standing inside the doorway staring at me. How polite of him to knock, but usually you don't open the door first. What are you doing? I'm practicing sign language. How long have you been standing there? I did not see anything. That isn't the point. I don't even know what that he means by that. It's not like I was doing something that I would be ashamed to have people see me doing. Although sign language must look strange to most people, I'm only used to it from being around Shizune and Misha so much. I'm brushing up on my sign language and reading about it too. Stuff like the history of it, even though they cover it in sign language class. Your school teaches sign language as a class? Yeah, one of the first things that they brought up was that it was not very common to do that. I guess we're very international or something. Looks fun. Well, I wouldn't call it fun. If you do not enjoy this, it seemed like a lot of work to go through just to talk to my sister. Why does everyone keep saying that? Because she's the only one that really needs it. Hideki's mouth twitches like he's about to laugh, but he restrains himself. Come to think of it, he hasn't laughed once since I met him. I could take it as a compliment that he doesn't laugh at me, but I'm curious to see it. Laugh. Why? And it's the fastest and most direct way I could think of towards accomplishing my goal. Can you teach me sign language? He says it plainly, but his body language is nervous, showing that he clearly needs to put some effort into the ask. I guess Hideki's little sister... Hideki likes his sister, after all. I think Misha is a lot more approachable, though, so I wonder why he didn't ask her. Secretly, I'm shouting yes inside. I thought he wanted to learn sign language, even brought it up, but he had evaded the subject skillfully. It turns out I was right after all. I don't really know why this makes me so pleased. Sure. Well, now that I think about it, I'm not a sign language teacher. I don't even know where to start. In class, I'd be learning gradually over a week. Does Hideki expect me to teach in class? Teach him anything usable in the one-day crash course? My teacher spent a couple of days giving me a history of sign language. I decided to start off with that, to buy some time while I figure out how I can segue into the hard stuff. 5 minutes in, Hideki raises his hand. I don't understand what you're doing. Well, you can't just jump into teaching, you know. You have to ease into it. It's like when you go swimming, you don't just jump into the lake in some movie. I do not swim. It's like he scientifically managed to create a process that stuck out of all the hyperactive, infuriating and childish qualities of a small child, and then implant them into the dad, creating a dragging jerk dad, leaving behind Hideki. I begin to feel claustrophobic, despite the fact that the guest room is 3 times bigger than my dorm room, and there's just 2 of us in here. And it's all in my head, and I know it. I don't care, I still use it as an excuse to move the lesson outside. That's all I need to concentrate out here. Even the precious few seconds it took to relocate managed to allow me to sort my thoughts. There were no questions during this time. Hideki can't seem to talk and walk at the same time. Eventually, I start to realize that if I'm going to teach him anything, I have to keep the lesson constantly moving. The second there's an opening for it, he'll ask a question which will lead to more questions. Then there's no end to it. The second time he asks why a certain hand motion means what it does, and I have to reach deep into my memory to look for etymology. I don't know about a gesture. I only knew about a month longer than him. I start looking for it out. Hideki, let's take a break. Okay. What is your school like? The kid is like a little reporter, but it makes sense for someone his age to be curious. And this is one question I don't mind. What's it like? I never really thought about it. It's on top of this mountain, so it feels kind of isolated and lonely up there sometimes. Even though that's also why it has a pretty great view. The students are there, interesting. Actually, I felt bad at first. You know what kind of school it is, right? Yes. I felt bad because I didn't want to go there, and I don't even remember exactly what I was thinking at the time. Probably it was something like a school for crippled people would be a depressing place, and they were telling me to go to be forgotten there. And everyone there was just living their lives for the most part, so I felt even worse. It wasn't different at all, so I felt kind of like a jerk. Shun was the first person I met, so she's in the most of my classes. Misha too. And they're also together. Yes, the school is accommodating enough to pair them up as much as possible. There's this girl in my class, Hanaku, whom I feel bad for. She has deep burns and seems to have a complex about them. But I think she looks fine. She's a cute girl, and I'm friends with Lily too. You know Lily, right? Does she bring Hanako? Yeah, sometimes. I'm trying to remember who else is interesting. You have a little track star, Ace, who runs on these prosthetics. There's this one girl around who doesn't have arms, but she's a great painter. All her art has this harsh, alive quality. Have you ever been to Yamaku? You've probably seen some of it hanging around. A little weird sometimes, but I've always heard the artistic and creative types are like that. That reminds me, the guy who lives across the hall from me is pretty weird too, but it can be interesting at least. You're also interesting. Is that bad? And what's with that tone? What does that even mean? Are you saying I'm weird, Hideki? You talk a lot. My first instinct is to go on the defensive, but the more I think about it, he has a point. That's right, I do talk a lot. I don't think I used to. I think it's probably because of all the time I spent around June and Misha talking with them. I get caught up in their circular logic and just how they do everything. I feel like I'm gonna be drowned or left behind. My sister can drown you out? It's not like she's literally taking over me and stuff, obviously. It's hard to explain. They have more energy than I do. It's like an aggressiveness. I don't feel like I have to match it, but I want to. I think maybe your sister has that effect on people. Do you look up to your sister? He stares at me blankly, tense and confused as to how to react to the question. How will we be better than Shizune? Better at what? At everything? Like what? I can do magic tricks. You mean like telling people you got your nose, or more like that kind of magic where you pull a rabbit out of your ass? He doesn't look happy. Someday I will see Hideki laugh. I might just be tickling him. I might just try tickling him if I have to. Oh, the back door flies open and Jigoro strides out of it, keeping his back straight and taking giant slow regal strides like either a king or a huge jackass. I try to turn away and use the train of logic that if I can't see him, he can't see me. Unfortunately, it doesn't pan out, and he comes over so fast that he's like appeared out of the air over my shoulder. Oh ho, oh ho, what's up here? Oh, what do you two do? What are you two doing? Pulling your hands around, playing cat's cradle like a bunch of girls. I'm teaching Hideki some sign language. What about you, Mr. Akamichi? He narrows his eyes suspiciously as if he's not used to people being polite to him. I am writing an autobiography of my life and times, and by writing I mean I am dictating it to my biographer. Unfortunately, she's running late, unprofessional. Perhaps you should read it when it's published later this year. I can put you on the waiting list. Maybe it'll give you the moral compass you seem to lack in your life, and inspire you to stop sucking. It can't be sustainable for him to be so casually insulting to everyone, though Hideki's likely to detach to even notice. Suzune is deaf and most of the insults must fly over Misha's head, but surely Akira must have an opinion on this. I try not to think about it. If he's doing this to psych me out, then I have to stay calm or he wins. He must absolutely definitely not win. This must be how Suzune feels. How old are you? 46. That isn't even old enough to justify writing a biography. I mean, that's not even old. Don't most people start writing their memoirs a lot later than that? Shut up, boy. I'm going to give you advice. I do not talk about the matters of age with people older than you. What? Older than you? You're less than half my age. You have no right to talk about old. I have an ulcer older than you. You should get that checked out. He might have a point, though. He's definitely older than I am. Either way, if we were the same age, I wouldn't have to explain myself to you, Sweater Vest. Ugh. Why do you keep making that noise? Are you mad? Well, obviously. Good. Your sweater is terrible. I want you to feel bad about it. The birds tell me it's working. I like my sweater. I'm sure you like huffing glue, too. That doesn't make it right. I don't huff glue. Where did you get the impression I do? That is slander. I wonder how Hideki knows what slander is. Wait. Oh, that was him. Wait. Okay, they have this. Okay, his is lighter. That is slander. I wonder how Hideki knows what slander is. Maybe Jigoro is a lawyer. I can sort of see that, although I thought that only TV lawyers were this antagonistic. I don't know if I should take the chance and ask if that's his job. He's right, it is slander. Are you a lawyer? I was guessing a guess, based on the fact that you are stupid. That's like how you are assuming I'm a lawyer. Except you have no reason to think that. If you want to know what I do so badly, why don't you pre-order my autobiography? Now you're insulting my book, and by extension, my entire life. What gives you the right to do that? Arrogant. I'm trying to think of how I could make you understand my struggle. Maybe by beating you with my autobiography. I hope you walk away from the beating having learned the valuable lesson, like not making assumptions. Assault. But he made an assumption too. I have glue. I considered calling him out on this glaring example of hypocrisy, but I don't think it's worth it. He would probably explain his way out by saying, "Shut up, boy." Back in my day, children were seen and not heard. What the? Okay, not heard. And to be an adult meant having experienced many hardships. With even a glance, people could instantly judge a man's character. Childhood exists only to temper you for adulthood. Would you look at me? Can you not see the catalog of my experience even at a glance? Maybe? Were you a sword fighter? He also could be Hawaiian and a werewolf. Wait, didn't you tell me before not to make assumptions? Now you just asked me to assume stuff. And you're saying everyone when you were my age did it, and that had to be in like the 80s. That wasn't even that long ago. I'm ready to give him a piece of my mind for talking like he had to walk 15 miles in the snow to ride a coal train, that he had to shovel coal into himself before climbing a mountain while fighting ogres to get to school. But now that I finally want to fight, Jigoro is happy to have a good thing going, just continuing to ramble about how difficult it was growing up one generation ago, twirling his sword like a baton, stopping occasionally to yawn or check the time. The tardiness of his autobiography is still foremost in his mind. That means that the whole time he's been insulting me, he must have been doing it just to pass the time. To add insult to insult, his watch is also really nice. When I was your age, kids had responsibilities, not like today. Sickening. No one thinks about the consequences of their actions anymore. They just do whatever they want, thinking no one will hold them accountable since they are young. It's odd that description could fit Shizune and Misha. I thought something similar only yesterday, but it only fits them slightly. Look at yourself, an immoral, directionalist, delinquent glue huffer with a complete lack of adequate etiquette. Absolutely no fashion sense. You're tomorrow's Japan. Disgraceful. Is that the future of this once great country? I know someone you would get along with. Don't interrupt. Who? One of your friends? Why would I want you to talk to some awful teenager? Have you even been listening? Why are you so rude, boy? Your attitude's not one that will make a lot of your friends. I wish you would stop giving me selfish advice. Or at least, I wish he would give me advice that would have the decency to adhere to himself. Where have you been? Huh? Not you, idiot. Oops, I didn't notice you here. She smiles and gives me a short wave. Her rival made Jigoro stop talking, and so I'm already happy to see her for the reason alone. Misha and I decided to go into town again. It's Sal. I noticed you were looking at some clothes yesterday in the store window, and I thought you'd go back and buy some of them for you. It was supposed to be a surprise, though. She looked annoyed that the surprise had ruined, even though she ruined it herself. Here you go. Thanks. Misha wanted to cut her hair. I told her not to, but she said it was too hot for the summer. Yeah? I don't know. That makes a lot of sense to me. It must be like an oven under there. I want to see it. Where's Misha anyway? Over here. Hi, Chan. Hi, Mr. Chan, father. Hi, Hideki. Oh. Misha runs around once in a wide circle before stopping next to Shizune. The drills are gone. The drills. For the first time, she hasn't put her hands over my eyes. Although now I see she has bags of her own to carry. It's not like she could have even if she wanted to. Although I am positive she tried before. Her meticulously styled curls are gone now, in favor of a much shorter, sportier look. Misha looks even happier than usual, probably because she knows she won't have to wake up at the crack of dawn every morning just to do her hair. Yeah, that's true. Oh. What is that haircut? You look just like an intern. Your old haircut merely made you look like you were wearing a pink judge wig. Judge to intern is a huge demotion. Sal, is he saying something insulting? Tell him not to insult my friends. Don't insult my friends. Which one of you is talking? Both of us. I agree with her. Heh, what do you think of Chad? You should have kept it like it was. Oh, hey Chad. You look disappointed. You don't like it either? Well, yeah, I'll admit I kind of like your old haircut more, but I think this one is nice too. It suits you. Aw, thanks, Chan. Touching. If you like it so much, maybe you two should trade. You can't trade haircut. What a shame. Even her old haircut would suit you so much more than your current slacker haircut. Awful. As for you. Actually, this is much less garish than your other haircut. I like it. Haha. Really? Thanks, Mr. Shizune's dad. It's Mr. Hakamichi's talk like it's Mr. Hakamichi. Talk like a normal person. I don't understand. Okay, I'll call you Mr. Hakamichi. It's like speaking to a slide whistle. Contemplable. Where's my biographer, Hideki? Whatever. Whatever, I don't fucking care about that guy. He's an asshole. He starts quietly muttering to himself and walks off. I guess a wannabe cranky old man like Jigoro would, at the very least, be hesitant to yell at girls. Suddenly he doubles back and able to resist his urge to have the last word. Just fucking slide one in there at the very end. while he's leaving. And another thing, you do not have to be so loud. I don't like being shouted at. What? Shouting? I'm not shouting. I can't think of anyone more unqualified to talk about what Garish to chastise someone else on shouting at people. It's like a parade of hypocrisies, and the hits just keep coming. An unusual reaction seems to be taking place. Misha apparently finds Jigoro funny and laughs pretty much every time he says something, which only makes him berate her harder. I guess this is what they call a vicious cycle. Misha's voice is punctuated with explosions of laughter and seems to come from everywhere. On the other hand, Jigoro is blooming and directed like a cannon. In any case, they are probably both unbelievably loud. The more they talk to each other, the more they seem to play off each other's volume and get louder. Ow, my ears hurt. Why are you shouting? Ah, I don't want to yell. Shun's hands wrap around my eyes from behind. Something I'm so used to Misha doing that, for the first time I find myself confused by it, since Misha is in front of me. She lets go and holds a finger up to her lips. What a perfect distraction. Now's our opportunity to let's sneak off. Why do we have to sneak off? Why not just walk off? It wouldn't be as fun. It's decided. It's a secret mission. Escape without being detected. Extracted. Hideki for bonus points. Already she has simplified the situation into a game. Shujin quietly slides away from the scene and begins edging towards the house. I walk towards her normally. I can't find Shizune at first, but eventually she walks into the main part of the house, slipping a glass of ice water and dangling her glass back and forth from her free hand. She whips them on as soon as she sees me. You didn't rescue Hideki. That means you don't get bonus points. If you were also being rated on style, I have to deduce points for a boring escape. It looked like he wanted to talk to me. I didn't know. I had to be stylish about it. You know, some say that most of the stylish people are the ones that don't try to. Hard to look cool. You're really cool. I wonder how is it that I can pick up on her sarcasm so easily. How hard it might have been for her to learn the concept of sarcasm without being able to hear. I can't imagine it. You seem like you're in a good mood. Although I guess it isn't really a good mood. It's more than that she seems very excited. I'm in a bad mood. Setting her drink down, she then sits down on the couch. I liked her regular hairstyle so much more. It looked so pretty. It was refined and meticulous. Now she looks too sporty and tomboyish. I wouldn't call Misha refined and meticulous. It sounds more like you. You should give it a chance and grow your hair out and maybe make it look like drills. Actually, maybe this is you just fine. Shun rubs the frames of her glasses roughly, looking annoyed at the very implication behind what I just said to her. That's fine because I was totally implying that. She moved a little closer to me when I had to take a seat. I'm a tomboy? Well, no one would call you a tomboy based on your appearance. Shun glares at me unamused, how to fight to keep a straight face. Maybe you two should trade haircuts anyway. You sound like my father. It's true, Susan giggles noiselessly, which she notices my displeasure at the realization. Jumping to her feet, she twirls an invisible sword in her left hand while standing up militarily straight and grimacing. A terrifyingly accurate impression. Anyway, I don't take any advice from anyone who wears a blue sweater with brown pants. Where's your sense of color coordination? Dreadful. But changing my haircut, that might be fun, wouldn't it be? I want to see how everyone would react. You must really like playing with people. Sometimes I think a little too much. No answer. What's that? The way she fiddles with her glasses, furrowed, tells me that it's because she can't. It's fun. And with more confidence while pulling herself closer to me. It's fun to drag more and more people into my life. Oh, I see. I wonder if I'm included in that number. I want to ask, but I'm not even sure I would. Shun wags a finger preemptively, indicating that she won't be answering such a question anyway. She reaches for her glass, but she doesn't seem to realize how far she managed to inch away from it all this time to prevent herself from tipping over clumsily. She soon tries to grab onto me, and ends up pulling me on top of her. Whoa! Oh! As I lean over her, I can feel the heat coming off her body and realize how close we are, and I can hear her soft breathing and the slight rustling of her clothes as she momentarily fidgets about. A blush starts to creep into her cheeks, but her eyes stare straight into mine, dark and unblinking. It's the same look from the first time I saw her, piercing and devoid to any clear emotions, just waiting to see what will happen next, like the eyes of a cat. It makes me feel uncomfortable being looked at in such a way. This is the first time I've been so close to her for an extended period of time, and the mood is different now. The situation now isn't the same as passing touching of hands ever at Misha's usual games. Shion's fingers weave together tentatively, but she makes no move to sign. The look in her eyes isn't just nothing, like I thought. It's more like expectation. I wonder if maybe I've been following the string of her expectation the entire time. I feel her grabbing me by the shoulder and then gently but firmly pushing me off of her. I roll sideways onto the soft couch and I pull myself into the sitting position less than a foot from her. The way I feel she might as well have thrown me 10 yards. When I think about it, this is perhaps the biggest drawback to Side the Witch. She did said that the fact that you would have to sign your words out with your hands means you have time to reflect on what you say before you say it. But on the other hand, it also means that what would normally just be an awkward silence become an insurmountable wall. I just blurt out something, anything, to try to dispel the tension I'm feeling right now, but if I could, I can't. But I can't. Ordinarily, I think that would be normal. Would be to apologize and maybe leave. But right now, I wonder if it's even applicable. I can't get past how guilty such an action would seem, like I were just thinking away. Aren't you guys dating? I'm pretty sure they're dating right now. Of course, it's not like I can just play it off like nothing happened either. That'd just be insulting to both of us. Such as much, so much that they don't want to. I apologize quickly, so quickly I forget to sign that I go back to my room. Oh man, my voice, my throat. Sighing, I let myself fall backwards into bed. I wish I could go to sleep right now, but I feel wide awake. Oh, I sat up when I hear the door closing and opened my eyes to see June sitting in the chair in front of me. She asks a question that goes right over my head due to my surprise. There's not a feeling I'm good at concealing, and I don't think it's what she intended. Whatever she was saying, she backs off, then doesn't attempt to sign again for a while. This is the first time we've been in a room. She intends her fingers and puts on an exaggerated attempt to make herself look embarrassed and modest at the thought. I can't appreciate the joke, but just the fact that she's here has me feeling a bit scattered. You're very funny. This isn't even my room, it's your guest room. Besides, you and Misha barged into my room once before. It seemed as if she expected me to say more. I remember feeling very panicked when they burst into my room, afraid of what conclusions they would jump to seeing the wall of pills lining the place. I don't think that Shun remembers though. It made you nervous. The way she says it so fractally stings me. A lot of things make me nervous. You're one of them. Because you're overeager to always get people involved in whatever you're doing. Whether it's joining the student council or even taking a break. Whether they want to or not. She signs almost at a crawl, her hands pausing mid-sentence far too much, causing the words to dissipate formally before I can even begin to try to understand them. And I try to not let on that this is the case. It seems to work, but she looks a little sad, and I regret that I have nothing to say to stop her from a strangely wistful and distant expression she's wearing. All I can do is wait for her to come out of it. You are right. I want to drink everyone in my life, but lately I'm no longer sure if that's the right thing to do. I enjoyed you taking me to your favorite restaurant the other night. It's not like that. It's not like that was my favorite restaurant. I have others I like. Might even be able to rank them by number. Really? This chair is so hard. I want to sit on the bed. Motioning her to go ahead. I wait for her to get off the chair and take her place when she does. Though I didn't intend for it to be. She finds it amusing. Close your eyes. Why? It's a surprise. I decide to humor her and close them, and I can feel her leaning over, and suddenly something soft and moist touches my lips. My body tenses up in surprise. Fortunately, not as awkward a reaction as I could have made. It was just a quick peck, and I almost think that's the end of it. But then she kisses me again, more deeply this time. Her hands slide under my shoulder, up to my neck, then back down again, and across my shoulders and down my arms. I can feel the weight of her body on my legs, and the eroticism of the situation isn't lost on me. At this point, I'm ready to try and open my eyes, just a crack, but as if expecting it, she puts my fingers on my eyelids. Seconds later, something ties my hands together at the wrist, and I panic, not knowing what to make of it. My first thought is to ask Jizun what she's thinking. Even though she can't hear me, I'm sure she gets the gist of it. She won't let go of my hands, tracing my fingers over them from the lines of my palms over my knuckles into my wrists. What is going on? What the... You... Hey, what are you doing? What's this? Did she just tie him to a chair? Oh, uh-oh. Of course. Of course, with my hands tied behind my back, I might as well be gagged. As a part of me can't help but think that this is what she intended. As if reading my thoughts, a mischievous expression lights up her face, but her blushing doesn't fade. In fact, it also deepens when our eyes meet. Embarrassed, she leans deeper into our partial embrace, hiding her face by burying it in my shoulder and neck. Her hair is soft and it tickles me, and I let out a laugh, knowing that she won't hear me, won't be offended. Oh, what are they doing? What are they doing? What's going on? They're doing the do. They're doing it. They did the things while being tied to the chair. Oh boy. Afterwards, I listen to the sound of my heartbeat slowing down until it reaches its normal rhythm. I listen to the sound of Shun's breathing as she does the same. Her lashes are slightly askew, and this is the first time she isn't messing around with them in some way. I want to straighten them for her, but the second I try, I'm reminded that I can't. Shun seems to have forgotten it as well. Instead of getting up, she presses herself against me in the chair to extend her reach. It's almost as if this is the only position she can think to untie my hands from. This is what I think as I feel her biting my wrists. However, she doesn't get it off me, her fingers gently stroking against mine, occasionally bending inwards to run over my palms. It's funny, but I feel more connected to the Shizun, though the simple act than before. Shizun stays pressed against me like this for some time. It's a little uncomfortable, but it makes me feel happy, as if I could stay like this for hours. And hours they took. They took hours. They did it even more. Probably not. The days since have passed so quickly that the time seemed to slip through my fingers like water. Every time I tried to talk with June, she had been out running errands or with Misha, and I feel as if she's avoiding me. I'm not surprised, of course. It bothers me, but I think the way she acts seems pretty natural. Then again, it's not like I've been through this before. Whenever I can find Shizun, I end up running into Misha, and when I do, I ask her to help with my signing. However, she always ends up squirming out of it. We're leaving after today, so I'm determined not to let her escape this time. When we head back to school, We're going to have to start grinding through more student council affairs in preparation for the school restarting, and I want to brush up on my signing as much as possible by then, if it's a day's worth. Come on, it's pretty much just having a couple sign language conversations. You do that all the time. Actually, you're doing it right now. Wow, really, Chad? That's funny. Misha temporarily stops her consciousness signing in order to wave her hands in front of her face in denial. But then she quickly resumes gesturing everything the both of us are saying to no one in particular. Hey Chan, you're so persistent. Suddenly being interested in sign language again. Could it be that Chan wants to make a career out of it? That's not fair. That's what my idea was first. You should be careful, Chad. Time changed too quickly. By the time I decided I wanted to be sign language interpreter, they had cell phones that people could type out whole paragraphs on. Amazing. Not very good for me, though. As if she knows that another deferral isn't going to cut it this time, Misha changes her tune pretty quickly to a more apologetic one. I'm sorry, Chan. I'm just so tired. Especially lately, even though being with Chana is fun, she's way more energetic than me. Teaching it on top of that would be too tiring. I don't think I have that much stamina. Sorry. She doesn't seem very tired, shouting the statement with her usual cheer and vigor. I know it's the wrong of me to keep pestering her like this, though. Actually, Chad and I were planning on going shopping today. It's our last chance to pick up some souvenirs. Souvenirs, huh? I almost forgot that I was on vacation. I understand what you're saying. Teaching doesn't seem so easy. He asked me to teach him how to sign, and I don't believe he lost the whole time. Well, I wonder if it works out for you when you become a sign language teacher. You can't get too tired easily doing that. Yeah, right, I hope not. Hey Chan, now I'm kind of worried, but souvenirs, so some other time. Hey Chan, haha. Do you want us to get you something too? Just because I understand it doesn't mean I don't want her to teach me. I suppose I can't press her any further now though. Even I'm bothered by how selfish it would seem to do so. I give up. No, don't get me anything. I'm serious. Don't surprise me with a funny shirt or something, okay? I don't like the sound of that. Slipping on her shoes, she yells goodbye to the otherwise empty house and opens the door to leave, letting a cool breath of fresh air into the hallway. A tuft of dark hair peeking from the door frame tells me Shizune is waiting for her outside. Good morning. Misha translates for me from beyond the doorway, and Shizune turns around to give me a small wave. Even though it's different from her usual offhand greeting, in the smallest ways there is an unmistakable hesitation there. It leaves me with a vaguely empty and distant feeling. Hey Chan, you're up early. Am I interpreting a conversation? I was trying to get Misha to teach me how to talk to you, but I guess I was being impatient, and it can wait. You two are planning to go shopping today anyway. Having Misha there, I forget to sign my words when I say them, unfortunately. I say them. Unfortunately, since she did move to fill the doorway, Misha behind them, this brief misalignment in our position means that what I'm saying is totally lost on her. I don't understand you at all. There are things I want to say that I can't put in a way she would understand. And there's an entire conversation that that would go right over my head. I want to tell her now that it won't be that way for much longer. Instead, I just say never mind, and tell them to have a good time, then wave them off. It seems like everyone is out for the day, so I sit down on the biggest and most comfortable looking chair in the living room with a book. Not a sign language book, but one of the novels I checked out of the library my first week. That was so long ago, I should really start chipping at the pile of books I borrowed, or at least return them. 16 pages in, Jigoro walks into the room and a stack of papers in one hand, and his sword twirling idly like a baton in the other, casually shaking water from a recent shower from his hair. Upon being seen doing something so ungentlemanly, he freezes like a deer in the headlights and slowly moves on to smoldering with powerful but baseless fury as he sits down on the couch a few feet away. This is the only time I've met him, and this is the only third time I met him, and I'm already starting to feel nauseous on the reaction. I guess in a way this could be considered a kind of charisma. I kind of even said I haven't even said anything, and he already seems less than pleased. It's likely a bad idea to provoke him, and just talking to him may count as provoking him. However, I can't think of an alternative, alternative situation that could play out. Let's say I don't open my mouth at all, and I walk away. Maybe go read in my room or outside. That'd definitely go down as an unforgivable insult. He'd probably tell me to hold it and destroy me. Either way, not too polite on my part. What are you reading? The draft of my the draft of my autobiography. It is the story of a man who wakes up to an uninviting guest in his living room, sitting in his chair, reading a shallow literacy trek. I barely started reading the book, and I don't even have an opinion on it yet. I can already see how this conversation is going to play out, so I might as well try to steer it in a different direction. Where's Hideki? Even ask questions ruefully. Disgraceful. That aside, why would you even ask me such a stupid question? How would I know? Am I my son's keeper? Well, you are his dad. It seems like he does live here, so... But I guess I can't say that simply as it is. I give up. I already tried to make small talk with him and failed. It's like trying to talk to a brick wall, and also hates you. That is my key to leave and sift through my wallet to see if I have enough money to go to a movie. As I'm about to stand, I have second thoughts. I'm too tired to go through trying to smooth over my problematic situation by trying to continuously walk away from them. It's hypocritical of me to get upset at Misha for trying to differ things when I even run from my old girlfriend. When Jigoro attempts to stop me, I'm almost glad even though I no longer have any intention to leave. Wait. He said it with plenty of authority but nothing else, as if just in a particular commanding afterthought. Only a very powerful, very arrogant person can tell someone to hold on in such a manner. I'm sort of impressed. Hey Jigoro, I'm dating your daughter, and also I slept with her, yesterday. You're also in student council with June, aren't you? What is your job there? I don't think there are specific roles other than the president. Shizune is always trying to round people up to help out here and there. Usually might get like one person to pitch in, but otherwise the three of us do whatever needs to be done. It's crossed my mind a couple of times around when I first met her that Shizune's this quietly analytical stare might be because of her deafness, but it turns out it's a trait shared by everyone else in her family. And that is okay with you? Why wouldn't it be? You, Shizune, and that pink-haired girl. They're really your entire student council. With the student council that small, that wouldn't even be bothered to hold elections. I'm going to take a guess and say that you didn't join the student council. Shizune drafted you into it. You said you do not know exactly what your title is. That makes sense. I suppose if you weren't even elected, you couldn't be expected to know. After all, if you're not elected, you aren't really anything. No one else is going to respect a student council like that. An unelected body of 3 people trying to scrounge up the equivalent of temp workers. It must be starting school if 3 kids have a tea party and can't handle every issue. What's how small it is to have to do with anything. If the student council gets things done, is that enough? It's just a game. It's not just a game either. Maybe you should actually come to the school one day if you get there on the right days. You might even be able to see what students are able to accomplish. Do you think I would be I think I'd have so much free time that I could forward the waltz over to your boondocks and watch my daughter's feats of her self-aggrandizement that I have never been more disgusted in my life. What? Daughter's feats of self-aggrandizement. I don't know that word. I've never been more disgusted in my life. What you're saying is that they might as well not have a student council, but the fact remains there is one, and Shizune got elected to it. And for her, it isn't a meaningless position. In fact, she works very hard for it. You sound like someone who voted for her. No, I wasn't there for that. Ha, you don't even vote for her. Well, besides that, why don't you ask Hideki about this? Shizune has wanted to be a high school student council president since middle school. She would have him read all her practice speeches, wasting his time. For what reason? This whole time he hasn't even looked up from thumbing through his manuscript. It's getting increasingly frustrating. Because it isn't a game. We don't run the school. But it's not like we're just playing at it, not taking it seriously. I wonder if it was so wrong to not be a purist. I've been to your school. Really, the students there. I can already think of about a million things you might say. I'm preparing for my heart to sink on hearing any of them. It's funny. There are probably things I've thought before. They don't even have cleaning duty. That was not what I expected. He's also wrong. They do. I should know. I get to skip out on it since I'm in the student council. The concept of being wrong confuses Jigoro. I should take the opportunity to go on the attack. It's really odd that I'm thinking it this way about simple conversation. It sounds like the last time we were there, was really some time ago. If you can leisurely write some memoirs, you can talk to Sue now and then. Don't you think that she has stuff she's proud of? That's how young people are. We have things to be proud of. If you're writing an autobiography, you should get at that. Such an opportunity, and I blew it. I don't know how I was expecting him to react, maybe introspectively, but Jigoro only grows angrier by the second. Yet as he does, he also seems calmer in a way, more sure of himself and in control. Who do you think you are to assume that my life is so easy? You haven't even read my biography yet. You're able to tell me how I should handle all my affairs, including dealing with my own daughter. You can never understand. Even if I were to get up from this couch, walk over to you right now and punch you in the forehead with brass knuckles, with a condensed edition of my life story on them, leaving my biography imprinting in your face, you would not understand. For 12 years, Shizune did not even talk to me, even though I hired multiple tutors and interpreters of all sorts for her, to try to get her to become normal. It isn't as simple as you think it is. If she did not want to bother with me, then fine, I assume that is normal. When was the last time you talked to your parents? It's been a while now, I feel ashamed, more so that he caught me than how easily I could have dropped my parents at a phone call or send them an email, or even letters, and haven't. The knowledge only makes me feel more ashamed. I thought so. If I wanted to see my parents, I couldn't. This is different. You aren't that far from her. It's only one train ride away. That's not enough. No means no. You're very persistent. If only it was about something that mattered, I could see what you may have learned from my daughter aside from that. How backtalk people. Is that it? The answer is yes. I wasn't this persistent or argumentative about before meeting Shizune and Misha. After all, prior to meeting them, I just experienced a small death. It's a mystery as to why I refused to join the student council in the first place. Possibly it was from trying to get away from their nagging so much that I was able to get my energy back. That's a cute idea. I think again about why I'm still here. Arguing with Jigoro is pointless, yet I think I almost looked forward to it. And he is right, I cannot understand him even if I did. He wouldn't care. I'm a loose that crawls on a whale, wholly insignificant. He has a confidence that I don't have. Shizune does, and it could be that the reason why I'm here now in an almost shouting match with her father is because some of that bravery was rubbed off onto me. However, I don't have anything to keep going. Still, I hate him. I don't know what I can do. A few months ago, I think I would have punched him and let the consequences play out as they may. But now I can't risk it. If he were to hit me back, he'd likely kill me. So in the end, the other thing I can do is look at Jigoro in silence, knowing that I have no reply and hate him. I'll feel completely at a loss. Oddly, he takes it as defiance. Oh. Alright, I think that this will be it for this part. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time.